Oh, hello. Here we are. I've got my meat and I've got my warm little ramekin dishes. They'll be just perfect because there's no shoulders on these, so there won't be any trapped pockets of air, which you don't want. I have my melted butter. I haven't clarified it because this is just for domestic consumption. If it were going as a Christmas present or to sit on the Christmas buffet table, then I would. It would look nicer, but it's just going to be gobbled up hungrily by me for lunchtime. So I've got a couple here. Puree. You see, there's my puree, and surprisingly, it's a bit tasteless. So I put in some tamari. I have no idea how many this will do, and then I'll cover them with cling film. Once the butter's set, I think I'll do it that way, and then they should keep. I might still keep them in the fridge, but we'll see about that. See how it depends how many I make. So I'm just, can you see? I'm just filling up these little ramekin dishes. I've got some more as well. It was quite. It needed quite a lot of pureeing in my machine. It's just just a. I think the knife is getting a bit ancient. I've had it for simply ages, but it's done it in the end. And I've just got the turkey and some stock, some onions and celery. Oh, and tomatoes. Yes. And then actually I put in some butter beans because I thought that would make it balanced, and I thought then you could taste the turkey. But in fact I think the turkey was a bit tasteless. So hence the tamari. And it's much better now. But anyway, it doesn't really matter too much because I'm going to be putting this with a jacket potato or pasta or all the things I've already said. And I'll add some Hellmann's mayonnaise, or perhaps even a shaking of chili powder with some fromage frais or creme fraiche. So, it will be quite tasty. Now, it's not doing very many, but that's fine. It's a very simple thing to make. And I just had to pop down into Morrison's because I simply didn't have any butter. And you have to have butter for this sort of thing because you're going to taste the butter and you want it to set really crisply so it forms a firm cover over the top of your pate, which is basically what it is. It's a pate. It comes, you can call it by all sorts of different names, the rillettes of the continental taste buds and various other things you can call it, but basically it's a pate. It's a well pounded mixture of meat and vegetables. So and one of these little dishes, really, once you've opened it, you should eat it up straight away. You could just keep it for up to 3 days, but I think it would be best if you ate it up in one sitting. And it's quite nice. Oh, I have got. I didn't know if my ladle was there. I'm just going to ladle in the butter, and that should sit nicely on the top. I'm just pushing it down to make sure the tops are flat. And then the butter will find its own level and fill up any little gaps in your mixture, and will cover it nicely and will set nice and hard or firm, which is what you want it to do. So I'm just going to pour. So yes, so I haven't. Actually, I think I could have made these a little less full, but I think that would be all right. That one's a bit full. You see, then the butter just goes on. Yes, you see, I should really have clarified it, but I haven't this time. There you are, and just pour the butter over. Actually, this little tiny ladle is absolutely perfect for this. A spoon wouldn't be deep enough, and a big ladle would be just too big. And actually, with this ladle, I can almost use it as clarified butter. You can just scoop out the butter that you want and leave the residues behind. There we are, so that goes in there. and then I can do a few more. These will get nicely firm up, and I will cover them with cling film, put a tiny little label on them, and pop them into the freezer. I mean the fridge, once they're cold. And see now, that little tiny ramekin like that will just provide enough for a lunch. It might even stretch to 2 if you mixed it with, or had it with the creme fraiche and a large jacket potato and salad. It might just stretch to 2, or it would be enough for one, say a jacket potato, and spread on some crackers, which would be lovely. And you could have some lettuce with that, or cress, or whatever. Summertime tomatoes would be lovely with it. I'm afraid I don't like tomatoes the rest of the year. They're just too, they're either tasteless or they're bitter, so I don't like them very much. And I find the cherry tomatoes too bitter for words. So I like homegrown tomatoes when they grow in your greenhouse or in the garden. And you take them off the plants and they're still warm from the sunshine. Of course that doesn't always happen, does it? Sometimes our summers are not really conducive to tomato growing. But anyway, there they are. 1, 2, 5 little ramekins of creamed turkey with vegetables. Very simple, basic little food stuff, but it will cheer up a jacket potato or whatever very well. And I should just have to leave those to cool down now. And I've got one more lot, which I'll do in a minute, and then let them rest. So, have a go. It's great fun. I mean, you can just do it with a little bit. You can buy some chopped, prepared turkey from any supermarket, and I would cook it in a fry pan with some onions and celery and whatever else you fancy. You can put more or less anything into it, plus some herbs, plus some stock, and then blend the whole lot up and pour it into a little dish. And don't forget, of course, you must have the dishes hot. They must be washed and hot from the oven, and you just leave them in the oven to dry, so you're sterilising the jars, the dishes as well. They must be sterilised. And then you melt your butter and fill the jars up and top the little ramekins with butter, and then wait till they've got cooled, and cover them up. You see, now with these you don't need to put wax discs on, because that will just stick to the butter. Once the butter's set, it will be fine. And just keep them in your fridge, and they can keep for up to 2 months in the fridge quite happily, provided you've got enough room, and provided you don't want to eat them too quickly. And I've just used turkey, but you can use any meat. Chicken's very nice, and fish is also very nice. It's done similarly to this. And if you've got fish on the bone, you could use the bones and skin to make your own fresh fish stock, which would be great. I just used chicken cube stocks, as you saw, for this, and put in some garlic and tomato puree and some salt and lots of black pepper. I do love black pepper. I nearly put in some chili powder, but I didn't in the end. I've got a second batch, I might put some in that, because I do love that spiciness. And it's not too hot, but it just relieves the monotony of some food sometimes, just to be a little spicy. So there you are. Of course, if you ate this with some nice homemade chutney, you'll be well away. You can even make it into sandwiches if you're going to the allotment for the day. Take some sandwiches with you and a flask of coffee. That would be great too. Lots of ways. Very simple, basic food stuff that's not hard to make, not expensive, and adds immeasurably to lots of basic foods. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll put the recipe up, and well, we'll see you again another time. Okay, bye for now.